welcome to a new episode of Extreme School Makeovers. This is Raglan Powell Jr., your neighborhood hero. All right, I want to tell y'all a little story real quick. It won't take long. It's a little different from previous videos, but it's on my heart, so I want to share it with you all. Okay. Um, back in when I was in elementary school, a long time ago. um, every day when I came home from school, there will always be a broom on the front stoop. Okay. And what my father would always tell me is when you get home, you make sure, before you step foot inside of this house, you make sure that, this front stoop is clear and the walkway is clear. If there are any weeds sticking up, you pull that up. And then once, you finish, then you proceed into the house. And I didn't understand that at that time. I'm in elementary school, so all I want to do was just get home, have me a snack, go play. You know what I mean? And then wait for my mom to get home so we can do homework or whatever. But, and that reminds you, my dad had a lawn care company, so once a week they would come in and cut the grass and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, why do I have to do it if they coming in once a week? To come in and blow everything down and stuff like that. So the one thing, he embedded in me was the outside of the home is the reflection of the man on the inside of the house. Okay, and anytime that I didn't do it, he would snatch something away from me. Whether it had been my TV in my room, whether it had been the VCR in the room, or my stereo, or my video game, or whatever the case may be. If it wasn't done that particular time, it was gone. All right, and then it'll been probably about like 2 weeks later that I would get it back or whatever. And the one thing he will always instill, one thing he was trying to, what he did instill in me was, there's a consequence for everything, okay? Take care of your home because it's a reflection of you, okay? And the one thing that today's time is, there's no consequences for the youth's actions, okay? There are no lessons being learned. Me, doing that had me realize that, okay, the outside of the home is the reflection, and I have to make the outside of the home presentable so my wife can make the inside of the home feel like home. Okay, we can't, have the outside, just, in shambles, and then thinking that we can have the inside intact. Okay, because whatever direction that I'm in, I'm pretty sure, and I know that my wife is going in that same direction. Yes, we have differences, every now and then, but for the most part, we're on the same path, okay? But there are no consequences, there are no actions behind what's going on, okay? If I didn't clean that stoop, something was being taken off. So when I go to these schools and I look, and you all seen like, the 60-something schools that I've been to, and everybody says the same thing. Well, what is going on? Why they don't have X, Y, and Z, and this and that. It's the reflection of the people on the inside, okay? If we are not taking care of the outside of the schools, how in the heck are we supposed to take care of the inside? When they walk up, they want to feel warm. They want to feel invited. They want to feel at ease. They don't want to feel, they got, bushes all over the place. They got, tree limbs hanging over. The grass is all up, weeds all coming up through the entryway. They don't want to feel attacked. They don't want to feel, in harm's way. They don't want to feel unease when they going into school, because it's going to translate into the school. And one thing I did notice was, by that house, by me cleaning that stoop, by the outside being so manicured when I grew up, was that anybody that came into my dad's home had a smile on their face. No matter whether his friends, family, my mom's family, or whoever the case may be, even if it was somebody coming to sell, everybody had a smile on their face when they walked through that door. All right, and he was like, that's the presentation that you want to give people, is to feel welcome, to feel invited. Okay, so always remember, the outside of the house, or the outside of where you are, is a reflection of the man on the inside, or the building. Okay, when you walk into these schools, yes, the principal may be a woman, okay, but there is a man in there. Make no mistake about it. Whether it's a teacher, counselor, whether it's a janitorial staff, custodial staff, whatever the case may be, there is a man in there. Okay? And if the man is in there, the man is the foundation. Okay? He must make sure everything is okay on the outside. He must make sure everything is firm, stable for everybody to stand on. Okay? Then the woman can come in and make sure the inside of the home is secure. Okay? Running on all cylinders. Like I said before, we can't have the outside in shambles and expect the inside to be intact. It doesn't work like that. Okay? So when I say, hey, I want to get these youth involved, they need to know that there's a consequence behind what they do. If we put programs together and say, hey, this is what you have to do on the outside. This is what you have to do. X, Y, and Z. You don't do it, this is what's going to happen. I believe things would be change up. I think things would switch up, and I think things would be better for the youth. But today's time, there's no consequence. There are no lessons being taught. You're trying to teach a lesson, but you're not putting no consequence behind the lesson. And then when you try to put a consequence behind a lesson, there's always someone coming in to try to undo the consequence because they don't want to hurt the kid's feelings. They don't want the kid to feel a certain type of way. They don't want, they just want them to have this easy path. And that's just not life. Life doesn't work that way. Me coming home cleaning that stoop, let me know right off the break. I don't want any unwanted things coming in my house. I don't want, no bugs. I don't want no limbs from off the trees. I don't want no leaves. I don't want anything. So when I come home, make sure this is clear. So when anybody comes in, it's smooth sailing. It's a reflection of me. It's a reflection of the man I am. So when I go to these schools and I see certain things, I do it. Because if the man on the inside is not taking care of it, another man will. Ooh, I think that hit somebody. Another man will come and take care of it. And you may not like what that man does. So, my question is, are we going to take care of the outsides so we can do what we need to do on the inside? Or are we going to keep it in shambles? Or is another person going to keep coming, doing it, and you're going to be mad? Okay? Yes, there are some men principles. If there are, with the men principles, they need to be on top of it. The men custodial staff, they need to be on top of it. Because it's a reflection of you. The outside is a reflection of you. Not the woman, not the kids, not nobody on out. It's a reflection of you. And if the woman is the principal, then the man teacher, the man custodial staff, the men counselors, or the PE teacher, whatever the case may be, you need to put something together to handle it because it's a reflection of you. Oh, they're not paying me for this. Oh, they're not doing this and doing that. Everything is not about money. Yes, We need money to make it go around. But everything's not. It's just a lesson in it. It's the lesson in it. Put together a program. Get these youth. Hey, hit me up. We'll put it together, and we'll make sure that, it gets done. But there has to be a consequence behind what happens. If there's no consequence, it's going to be the way it is. People feeling disrespected. People feeling unease. People feeling like the youth don't care. People feeling like X, Y, and Z, da-da-da-da-da. They out here rioting and looting because they don't have no consequence. Here in Maryland, they're trying to put a curfew together, and they're saying, hey, parents, it's your, responsibility to take care of your kids. Okay, fine. If they're not in the house, if we catch them outside of the house before this curfew, because they're trying to put a curfew on now, if your kids are outside past this time, we're going to fine you $500. They're trying to fine the parents $500 for their kids being outside past curfew. It's a consequence. If you're not going to do it, then we'll have to do it for you. If the man on the inside is not going to take care of the outside, somebody else will come and do it. And you can't get mad at it. It's called consequence. It's called restoring order. And I understand that, some situations are different than others, but we do what we can. It's called taking little steps to cover great distances. That's it. The smallest things can make the biggest impact. Period. So if there's no consequence behind what these kids are doing, or we're not putting in play certain, youth projects or whatever the case may be for these kids to, be able to succeed and go on to do great things, I don't know what you're gonna what you expect. What do you expect? And it all falls down to the parents. How kids act outside of the home is how they're treated on the inside of the home. That's just what it is. My mother and father always told me, if you want to know something about the parents, look at their kids. You will not embarrass me as we go out here. That was just it. But kids out here nowadays, they just doing whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, or whatever the case may be, and there's no consequence behind it. Stop giving them options. Tell them what they got to do. Hey, this is what needs to happen. If this is not what's happening, then hey, this is what's going to happen. Men, we are the foundations of the home. Women are going to make the home on the inside. That's just what it is. We're the foundations. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's at your job. I don't care if it's in your business. I don't care where you're at. You're the foundation. You must make sure that the outside is stable and structurally good in order to perform the work that needs to be done on it. That's it. And if we can't do that, we can't have a stable inside. So always remember, let's take care of the outside. Let's get these kids, hold them accountable, and give them consequences for stuff they don't do. I'm not talking about giving them a lecture and, putting them in time out. No, sometimes you got to hit them where it hurts. So they all know, if I didn't clean that stoop off when I came home, and my dad came home and he seen that it wasn't stoop, he didn't say nothing to me. He just went in there, snatched that TV out, and put it in his room. He came in there and snatched that BCI out my room, put it in there. You don't need it. You're going to respect what's going on in here. You're going to take care of this. Because it's a reflection of me. That's what he would tell me. This is a reflection of me. How you perform is a reflection of me. And you're going to do right. So, let's hold these youth accountable. Let's put stuff together. And we got to hold them accountable and give them a consequence for stuff that they're not doing. And if it doesn't, we don't do this for the youth, parents, it will fall back on you. Teachers, it will fall back on you. Principals, it will fall back on you. Custodial staff, it will fall back on you. And then, what then? Proverbs 22:6. Train, instruct the child in the way they should go. Period. You got to instruct them. You got to train them the way that they need to go. And sometimes along that journey, you got to give them a consequence and you got to give them a hard action. That's just what it is. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I didn't mean to take up too much of your time, but it's just something that's in me that I just had to get that out, because I'm not understanding where this is coming from, okay? If you don't take care of the outside of your home, somebody will. If you don't take care of the inside, somebody will. And if it's too much, delegate, period. So with that being said, Proverbs 22:6. Let's train these youth up in the way they should go. Let's train them up in instruction under the Lord. That's it. And if anybody reads the Bible, know that God was hard. He wasn't this loving God that they portrayed. He was hard. You had a consequence behind if you didn't obey what he said. If you didn't obey what God said, he had a consequence for you. And then he left you alone to sit in it. But we don't do that these days, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling. I hope that was useful for somebody out there, okay? If you hadn't already, subscribe to the channel, give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment. All feedback is good feedback in my opinion. Help out the channel a little bit, we very much appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be abreast of what Extreme School Makeovers is doing, okay? If you would like to support the channel, support the mission, if you would like, to donate, material, supplies, everything is in the description where you can go. You can go to www.traintobeautify.com, or you can reach out to, you can go in the description and click on my Amazon wish list, and there are things on there, okay? Or if you see something that I may, need out here in the field or something like that, the address is in there and you can send that too, because it takes a village, okay? And with that being said, let's stop waiting for the change and let's be the change. Love you. You gotta hold them, consequences, actions. If somebody don't take care of it, somebody else will. Love you. All right, in this parking lot, they got like a pile of leaves that's been in the corner. So during leaf season, they don't get any leaves if they just throw them in the corner. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up just to make the parking lot look neater. Let me show you. See, it's a lot of leaves that's just left in the parking lot area with a board, but I'm gonna leave that board there. See the leaves, so I'm gonna go ahead and rake all that up just to make it look neat and presentable for when they come in the parking lot. All right, so let me get back to work. Looks pretty good, don't it? Still gotta get me a new hat though. Love you. One other thing I wanted to show you was this tree that I just weed whacked around. I think the limbs are a little too low, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the limbs from up under so people can see, and then when they park, they'll be able to park freely. Let me show you. See that? See how the limbs are real low? So when they park and they're hitting their cars and stuff, and then over here, so they really can't see what's going on up under there. So I'm gonna go ahead and spruce that up real quick, and then we'll move to the next section. All right, so let me go ahead and get back at it. See you in a minute. Love you. That looks better, don't it? I think so. Let's move on. All right, in this section, we're gonna hit those lower limbs because as you can see, some of it is dead and hanging off. And I know when people are pulling around the school, it's a kind of an eyesore. So we're gonna do like we did the other tree and just spruce up under there. And then these bushes over here, we're just gonna touch these bushes up over here and then get all of these leaves up that's on the curb part, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, get all of this right here and swoop that up, and then all of these leaves that are right here, we're just gonna rake them up and then make it neat and then trim that tree up, and then we'll hit that side and then we're on to the next spot. that's it. That's all. Okay? So, as you saw, we done prune some bushes. We done trim some trees. We done got some leaves up. We done, took out limb. We did some edging, trimming, and everything else in between. We did a lot. All right, and I'm glad, I hope you enjoyed, watching it as much as I did making it for you. Okay? And next week we'll be to you for a new video of Extreme School Makeovers. All right? We'll be doing pretty much the same because let's just be honest, these kids, could use it. Okay? And I want to throw out there too, if your custodial staff or the people doing the grounds of a school where you're at or your school personally, and they could use training or they can use my help, this and the third, or we can organize something for the youth, so they can get involved and stuff like that. Please feel free to reach out to me. Anything can be worked out. I'm willing. I'm here. Let's mark it in the calendars, okay? Because we got to start somewhere, okay? So, with that being said, consequences. We got to hold them to consequences, okay? That's just what it is. That's the only way we're going to see improvement, okay? We can't just keep talking and talking and talking and waiting and waiting and waiting. No, what you say, if you don't do, this is the consequence. Bottom line. All right. Now, I know when they get a certain age, you got to cut that off and just start advising. Okay. But I'm talking about from elementary to middle. Okay. High school, you can start advising because they're going to have to learn and they're going to have to start knowing how to navigate. Okay. Without disrespect. Without the disrespect. Okay. But let's just get them all to the right place. All right? Consequence. Men, you're the foundation of the outside of the home. Make sure the outside is taken care of, completely spotless, because it's a reflection of you. And if the outside is not taken care of, the inside is totally going to be in shambles. Okay? All right? So you can't have a rocky foundation with a solid inside. It just doesn't work that way. Everything goes hand in hand. All right? When a storm comes and it knocks that foundation, when a storm comes and it, knocks the roof off a house or the siding or whatever, and they're saying, oh, this house is condemned, but we're still intact, the foundation. Okay? We got to make it strong. Okay? So, with that being said, I'll see you all next week. And stay tuned for the before and afters, okay? I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did making it for you. And as always, let's stop waiting for the change and let's be the change. See you next week. Love you.